Well, Season 8, Episode 2 is in the can. Loose ends have been tied up. Getting ready for the big battle for Episode 3. Let's do this. What's up, guys? We are already at Episode 2 of 6 of the very last season of Game of Thrones. Can you believe that it's almost over? Like I suspected, this was a character building episode. Some of the feedback I heard from last week's episode, a lot of people were like, I thought it was boring. Have you been watching the show for 7 seasons? Does it really bother you that they're actually setting the table before the big meal? I kind of expect this type of stuff because, there's some loose ends that were left at the end of Season 7. So they had to get everybody to Winterfell in the last episode. And then this episode, there's some loose ends that needed to be tied up. So I thought that maybe some of the action would have kicked up at the very end of this episode, like they do sometimes from time to time in the previous seasons. But no, this was pretty much just a big character building episode, starting with Jaime Lannister, because we all remember at the very end of the last episode that, bone-chilling scene between Bran and Jaime Lannister. So we've all been wondering, what's that confrontation going to be like? And they actually did have a short little confrontation, but at the beginning of the episode, Jaime is in the hot seat. He's literally standing in front of Sansa and Jon Snow and also Daenerys. And you know what? Jaime Lannister is not the person that he was in Season 1, as he pretty much states, and he owns it. He owns up to it. And at first, it looked like Daenerys was going to unleash hell on Jaime, but then Brienne Tarth comes up and saves him. But the big thing was like that little exchange between Sansa and Daenerys. It seems like, as it would be in Winterfell, Daenerys has to earn her place. And a lot of people, they respect Sansa. And I gotta say, Sansa's been through so much in these last few seasons that she's really earned her place now. And I really loved her in this episode, actually, especially when they finally had that meeting between her and Daenerys. And, they look like they're coming to terms with each other. Daenerys even places the hand on Sansa. But then at the very end of that scene, Daenerys pretty much says, hey, I am going to be the ruler of the 7 kingdoms. And then Sansa says, what about the North? The North is the rightful heir. And so there's a little bit of friction there. But you know what? I never thought I'd say this, but I'm kind of Team Sansa now. I'm kind of rooting for Sansa in this. Jon Snow's, he's pretty clouded because if we remember the last episode, he just found out that he is Aegon Targaryen. He's been balking his aunt. That's a lot to deal with. So, that first scene with them at the end of, they're having like a meeting of the minds, some war strategy. And then at the end of that scene, Jon Snow's like, he's distant. It's awkward. And so when they finally come together at the end of the episode, he tells her that, hey, I am Aegon Targaryen. My mother was a Stark. My father was Rhaegar Targaryen. And really, they were interrupted at the end of that scene. So they didn't really have a chance to deal with those emotions. So I'm hoping that there's more of a chance to do that throughout the rest of the season, which I'm sure there will be. But, right at the end of that, Daenerys says, you are actually going to be the rightful heir. And she did not seem that happy about it. So I'm curious to see what's going to unfold with these two. Now, I'm sure the big thing that everybody's going to be talking about with this episode is Arya. And I know my buddy Dylan, he gets on to me because I don't say these names right. I think I've been calling her Arya. A lot of people have been calling her Arya. He said the rightful way to say it is Arya. No E. So Arya. So I'm going to call her Arya. That sounds weird. Arya. You have to drink every time I say Arya. Elephant in the room, Arya looks like she's 12 years old, okay? Maybe I'll be the first guy to say it. She does. She looks so freaking young. She's not. But, that scene between her and Gendry, this is the night before the war. Everybody wants to get the drink on. Everybody wants to, get the booty call going. And it was kind of a strange scene because, like I said, she looks so freaking young. But, I'm happy for her, too, because this whole time, there's always been this little bit of connection between her and Gendry. So you knew eventually the two were going to come together. I didn't know that, the first time they actually do become intimate with each other, they go full on. But, hey, got to do what you got to do, right? Now, one of the bigger scenes also is when you had Brienne Tarth, you had Tyrion, you had Jaime, Davos, all those guys, and Tormund. They're all, they're drinking around the fireplace. And really just, having a good time before battle. And, you know, this was a time for them to kind of reflect, especially at the beginning of that scene between Jaime and Tyrion, you know, reflecting on that very first episode, which, you know, I just went through all the seasons these last couple months. So I remember that episode vividly and how different these two characters were. And, you know, and this was a nice scene because they're kind of reflecting on how far they've come and could they ever go back to who they were at those points? And the answer is no. You can't go back to who you were, you know, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. It just doesn't work like that. And nor should it. But, you know, one of the big things too, aside from Tormund totally having a huge raging boner for Brienne of Tarth, Brienne of Tarth finally gets knighted by Jaime, and that was a nice scene. And I gotta say, the actress that played Brienne of Tarth did a great job in that scene. Actually, you could tell that Brienne of Tarth really respects Jaime, and she saved his ass at the beginning of the episode. So it was just a really nice moment. And you know, I love those two characters. You know, it's just a really strong, great friendship because of everything that they went through together. I believe in season 3. But the last character moment that I want to mention is Bran. Bran is a very important character in this season because the Night King wants Bran. They want to pretty much wipe the memories of everyone. And Sam is pretty much saying that, you know, the White Walkers, all they want is death. That's the biggest thing. They want to wipe away any signs of life. And memories are life. You know, it's a part of who we are. So really this whole episode was just a nice reflection of what's to come. Some loose ends tied up. Davos having a chance to deal with the loss of Stannis' daughter with that young child. A lot of great stuff in this episode, actually. It is a character building episode, but you know, that very last scene when we see the Night King with his army of White Walkers approaching, next episode is gonna be badass. And also, I didn't mention Cersei. They don't show Cersei at all in this episode, and I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with her because they have to deal with Cersei too, not just the Night King. Could Cersei be even more of a threat than the Night King? I think she'll be more interesting because she is a conniving, lying, cheating, stealing character, and so interesting. So I'm really curious to see what's gonna unfold with Cersei. I mean, she will do anything for power. So in the comments, let me know what was your favorite moment from this episode, and what are you really looking forward to for the rest of this season? Are you really looking forward to the battle between the White Walkers, or do you find the White Walkers boring and you're actually looking forward to what goes on with Cersei Lannister? Let me know in the comments. Also, I will be doing weekly updates for this season. Next week I'll have it on Sunday night. The week after that I'm going to Rockville, so I'll be headbanging probably on that Sunday night to Tool. So I'll catch up on the episode on Monday, and I'll hopefully get that episode out on Monday night. But next week should be Sunday night. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day, and on Fridays we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.